1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, I'm Rodney Hall from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We're at Fame Studios today, which is the studio my dad started in the early 60s and has been in continuous operation since that time.
Hey, I'm Alan Schulman. I grew up here in the Muscle Shoals area and been in the music business about 30, 40 years, and I've been a songwriter, engineer, and a producer of records, and did about 7 years in this studio every day.
Or more.
Or more. More.
Still doing stuff.
Every day. Every other day.
This building was built in 1961 and had one studio, this studio, which is Studio A. Then was in 1967, we added Studio B on, and the first band to run signal through that console was a little band called the Allman Brothers. Yeah, you know, there's been a lot of different genres, so to speak, to meld what became the Muscle Shoals Sound, which is basically an amalgamation of country, rock, and soul in my mind. There's just been so much music made here, and I think rooms do have some sort of memory. Wilson Pickett, Little Richard, Otis Redding, Clarence Carter, Lou Rawls, Solomon Burke, Candy Staton, Bobby Gentry, the Osmonds, Wayne Newton, Tom Jones. I mean, how long you want to go?
Aretha Franklin.
I can go on. Aretha Franklin.
All the oldies, I mean, everybody.
My dad's Rick Hall, record producer, songwriter, musician, engineer.
Everything. Deal maker. Muscle Shoals music was a groove and a feel, and Rick knew how to get that out of musicians. More from heart and soul and rhythm and groove and feel than like New York and LA, where they were all written out, everything. So Rick was the director of that.
Part of that came from his raising. He was raised very poor and from a really rural community where all there was to do was play music and sing
on a
or
Saturday
work.
night.
I think it came out of the earth and out of the area and just out of the people. And a lot of the reason it happened here was because of just that fact. He was working with black artists, and Nashville was country music, and it wasn't something they were interested in when he would go to Nashville and pitch it. So he just set up camp here and went for it.
The guy was, just an animal about music and his talent. Nothing was going to hold him back.
He was just a perfectionist when it came to pretty much everything. And he knew who the talent was that could make that happen, who the musician was that should be on this record if it's a country record, or who it should be if it's a soul record, or who the engineer should be. And he listened to people that he trusted, like Alan.
It was madness almost.
Every hi-hat, every tambourine,
everything. You got to beat it to death. I mean, that's one thing I learned from Rick. Also from Rick, I learned if you beat it to death too much, you'll take the life out of it, So he was like my father.
He would tear you down to build you back up.
Yep.
Tell you everything you're doing wrong, but at the end of the day, when you left the room, he's put his arm around your neck saying, I know you can do this, son. You show me you can do it. You can do it. Just let's get after it.
That's right.
I mean, and he would always say, to that point, he would always say, we're not competing with the guys down the street.
That's right.
We're not competing with the guys in Nashville. We're competing with everybody in the world.
We're competing with the world.
It's got to be better than anybody else, or why would they listen to something out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama? We've been active for 365 days a year for the last 60 years, coming up this year. So, yeah, absolutely. We're recording every day. We did the Raconteurs with Jack White this year. We've done the Revivalists, Blind Boys of Alabama. We did the last Greg Allman record. We did work with Steven Tyler, Demi Lovato, Michael McDonald. There's very few studios around that have been working continuously for 60 years. There's maybe 5 or 6 that you could name worldwide.
Maybe.
Over the years, people have always shown up, right? I mean, there'll be people come up,
wanting to see.
Just come in. Hey, I want to see where Dwayne Allman recorded or where Aretha Franklin recorded. It became so rampant. It was like, well, we got to control this. Yeah. So we just started doing tours, and I would say we have between probably 25,000, 30,000 people a year come through. They could see the studios, both Fame and Muscle Shoals Sound, and tour the rooms, see the consoles. They'll probably hear a little music that was recorded here and hear the history. This Wurlitzer, that was on everything from Aretha's first hit record to Wilson Pickett's stuff. Everything, every record's ever come through here. Yep. But the biggest thing I think is you just feel the vibe, feel the room. I'd like for people to walk out of here feeling like they've been somewhere special. They've been where to see where history was made and where it's still being made daily. And to really, really respect not only the music, but the makers of the music, the songwriters, the musicians, the engineers, because they're passionate and they love music, and that they've been to a special place. If you want to come see it, just come check it out and see the magic.
Well said.